So I looked at this. I think we're pretty fortunate to be in this part of the state where we see poor and we're like, what's going on with that? You know, we're used to things being in really good shape. Well, I looked into that data a little bit. In the stream, you might find a poor rating at one side, or at one location, and then a good or an excellent rating at another location, and that happened frequently. So sometimes what's happening there is if we use a cold water IBI, maybe that water was a little bit warmer than we thought. And so when you use that cold water IBI, the different way of counting up to fish, that you end up with a better rating. So overall, I think that this states that, or kind of indicates that water quality in the area is very good. And just kind of a note here, all of this data is available online. You can go to the Surface Water Data Viewer, and you can get information about all the different sampling points we have, where the outstanding resource was, all that information, so it's available to you. I think I'm kind of running out of time, so I'll just kind of zip through this. We also monitor bacteria. We have very little bacteria data in stream systems, but we do have quite a bit of bacteria data at beaches. We use different criteria for streams versus beaches. This is largely because there's been a lot of work that has identified the relationship between E. coli bacteria, it's one of the fecal bacteria, and the incidence of sickness in swimmers. The E. coli itself doesn't make us sick. That's not what we're worried about. It's the stuff that comes along with E. coli. So these are the different criteria here that I'll be referencing. The criteria for E. coli, we're concerned about two things. We're concerned about the magnitude of any one event. If we have a bunch of E. coli in a stream, it could indicate that there's a lot of pollution coming from somewhere. But we're also concerned about kind of a chronic, a situation where there's chronic pollution. And so that's what these two different levels represent. This is, if it gets too high, we don't want people swimming there. If it stays high for a while, that would also trigger an exceedance of the criteria. So this is what it looks like in Lake Superior counties. The different colors here are different counties. These are years. Going across here, I don't know what the Keystone thing is. But this is the percent exceedance of all the samples. So we go out, we collect E. coli data, we compare it to those standards, and if it's above 235, that's an advisory. That's an advisory. It's an exceedance there. And so if we take a look at the advisory rates, you can see in Bayfield County, they're really from 2% to 8%, really pretty low. You know, it's something that we need to be thoughtful of, and we definitely want to continue that monitoring so that we can give good guidance to people that come to use the beaches here. But low, they're not as high as what you might find, say, in Lake Michigan beaches. So these are the Lake Michigan beaches over the same time period, and we have, you know, in some cases, they're still at that low level, but in some counties, in some years, quite a few exceedances there.